Hello everybody and welcome back to our JavaScript beginner series, episode 10 part 2. If you have watched the previous video, you might know what asynchronous JavaScript is, what callbacks and promises are, and how they work. So if you have not seen the video and have no idea about what I just mentioned, it would be better to watch that video first and then coming back to this video. So the link to the previous video is provided in the description. And in this video, we are going to be discussing about async and await and how to use fetch for modern API calls and fetching data. So let's get started with the video. Now, in JavaScript, working with asynchronous operations like fetching data from an API can be tricky. In the past, we used callbacks and then moved on to promises to handle asynchronous tasks. However, async and await provides a cleaner and more readable way to work with asynchronous code. So what is async? Async makes a function asynchronous. So this means the function will always return a promise, and we can use await inside the function. So what is await? Await is a keyword that can be used inside an asynchronous function which is defined by the async keyword, and it pauses the execution of a promise until the promise is resolved. So if we remember from before, a promise will run in the background until it is either resolved or rejected. And during that pending state, JavaScript runs whatever the code is remained after the promise. So await pauses the execution of any other code until the specified promise is resolved. So let's see an example for that. I'll first write the async and await syntax and I'll explain the code later. So first we write the async keyword, async function, to make the function fetch data asynchronous, and then we'll create a try catch block to easily catch errors, and console.log, let's say it's simulating fetching data, so fetching data ... and let our response equals a promise. So let's say await, since we have to wait for our promise to be fulfilled in this case. So resolve, and then an arrow function. Let's say this promise is of fetching some data, so we create set timeout to simulate a time delay, since fetching data takes some time in real life. So set timeout, resolve data fetch successfully, and let's say this takes about 2 seconds, so 2000, and then we create a catch block for an error to occur. So console.log error, so let's execute the function right here. Now here, the reason we use await in this new promise is because we have to, oh I'm sorry, I omitted a part. We have to show the data that we received, so we have to show the response. So yeah, the reason we use await here is because we need this response variable later in the code. So in order to have this response variable, we need to wait for this promise to be fulfilled. So if we did not use the await keyword, if we did not make this function asynchronous and consequently did not use the await keyword, JavaScript would leave this promise to be resolved or rejected in the background and move on to the next code immediately. So in this case, it will output to fetching data and then data fetched successfully. But I'll show you what would happen if we did not use the async and await keyword. So let's see, fetching data and then data fetched successfully. Now if I did not use this await keyword here, our promise would still be in the pending state when JavaScript moves on to this block or this line of code. So it would output to promise pending. So it instantly outputs to promise pending because this promise is still pending for 2 seconds. So in order to prevent this, and in order to prevent variables having no values arrived yet or variables having values pending, we use the await keyword. And in order to use the await keyword, it should be used inside an asynchronous function. And if an error occurs by any chance, the try catch block handles it gracefully. Alright, so with this, I hope it is clear how async and await makes working with promises much cleaner. But what if we want to fetch data from a real API? Well, that's where the fetch API comes in. The fetch function is a built-in function in JavaScript, and it's how we make network requests, like getting data from a server or an API. And the cool thing about it is, it's completely promise-based, which means that it works perfectly with async and await. And for this video, we'll be working with JSON placeholder, a free fake API for testing and prototyping. So this is the API right here. And this website provides sample data for things like users, posts, comments, and more. Kind of like a mock database that developers can use to practice API calls. It's super useful since we can fetch realistic data without setting up any backend. For example, this website or this link right here gives us details about a fake user with an ID of 1. And let's see how we can fetch and display that user's data. So let's start with a basic example. Suppose we want to fetch user data from an API, and here's how we do it using fetch and promises. So fetch, and we'll open parentheses, and inside our double quotations we'll paste the link, and then we'll use the promise handler. So dot then, this is for a response, so we'll type out response, arrow symbol, and response.json. Now what response.json does is, the data we have provided here, or we have been provided here with, is in the JSON format, and .json essentially converts this JSON format into JavaScript object, and in that process it returns another promise to be resolved. So for the promise that is returned by this .json method, we use another then event handler, data. So this data will be logged onto the console. Username is, let's say, data.name. Now what happens is, a response variable contains all of this JSON data that is provided here, and when we convert it to response.json, all of this is converted into JavaScript object. The difference between JavaScript object and JSON is, JavaScript objects keys can be without the double quotation marks, but in the JSON format, the keys are in double quotation marks. And that is the key difference between JSON and JavaScript object. And JSON is used to send and receive data from websites and APIs and more. So response.json converts this JSON data into JavaScript object notation, and this promise is returned into this data variable from this .then handler. And this data.name, that is this name of the data object, JavaScript object, is printed out to our console. Now let's see how this works. And if any error occurs, we can use the catch, and then error. We'll use console.error. Let's say for now error. Now this .catch will catch both network errors and issues with JSON parsing. And the key takeaway from this is, because fetch is promise based, we can handle it using .then and .catch, just like any other promise. Now I'll run this using our web dev section, because that will be simple, and we might face an error while trying to run it in a JavaScript compiler itself. So I'll go back and go to our web dev section and then JavaScript. So I'll paste our code here, and as we can see that username Lean Graham, which is indeed the username or the name provided by this website, is printed out to the console. Now this works just fine, but as we discussed earlier, async and await makes our code cleaner and easier to read. So instead of just chaining .then, we can rewrite this using async await. So watch this. Async function get user data, and we'll use a try block. Then let response equals await, because we're going to use fetch and we need the fetched value. And then we are going to copy this API link, and then let data equals await response dot JSON, because we want to convert it into a JavaScript object. And then console.log, just like our previous code, username, and then plus data dot name, and then catch block for any errors, and console dot error fetching data, and our error. So let's call our function get user data, and we can see that Lean Graham has been outputted to the console. Now if we try to get its username, so data dot username, we'll get this as Brett, because it is the username provided by the API. So to sum it up, fetch is a modern way to make network requests in JavaScript, and it returns a promise, so we handle it using .then, or even better, async and await. And now that you know how to fetch data, you can try to fetch data from other sample APIs, or just fetch a different value from this API right here. In the next episode, we'll be learning about the document object model, that is DOM. So make sure you tune in for that. And if you liked the video and found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. And see you guys in the next one.